it's been a crazy couple of weeks. So it's been a while since I've talked to you all directly, and in that time, some crazy stuff has been happening in my life. And so I kind of want to just take a moment to talk about it and kind of give you the experience of what a musician, producer, what our lives are kind of like sometimes, especially in the hard parts. You know, in everyone's life there are ups and downs, and for 2023 it seemed like it was mainly just ups. You know, we've got a kid on the way, we're getting ready to move into a new house, and then some things just kind of got a little more complicated. Not necessarily bad, not enough to call them lows, but got rough there for a minute. So I just wanted to take the time to kind of walk you through what my life has been for the past couple weeks. So go back a month, 3 weeks to a month, and everything's great. We're about a month away from moving into our house. We've got a baby on the way who's just perfect in health. My grandfather-in-law gave me his truck. It has some issues, but I've wanted a tinker truck for a long time. It's a 97 Ford Ranger by the name of Little Red. And yeah, I learned how to drive shift. I never learned how to drive shift before. So it's great because now we've got our Chevy Equinox, and then we've got a work truck now on top of that. So that was great. Fast forward about a week or two, and we started getting weird readings and sizes of the ventricles in my son's brain. So we had to make a trip out to a much bigger hospital that's about an hour away, about 45 minutes to an hour away, to get specialized checkups on that. And going to those checkups confirmed that his the ventricles in his brain are too big. It's not necessarily a bad thing either, so we're trying to stay in the positive on that. And then about a week before making this video, so a couple weeks ago, by the time this video comes out, a tree fell over and landed on the roof and the gutter of our new house. There was no crazy structural damage or anything like that, but there was definitely damage to the gutter and to the roof itself. And so to save a little bit of money, I got a new Ego chainsaw, which is really awesome, and my mother and I went over and cut up the tree, and then we had tree people come and haul it away, chop it up and haul it away. So it's been stressful. On top of that, we also have, you know, all of the things that come with being a father-to-be. Trying to get a nursery room ready, trying to get the crib ready, trying to get all of the furniture in the nursery ready to go, especially because it looks like he's probably going to be born around the 36 to 38 week mark. And then on top of that, just trying to work on the house that we're moving into, as well as, you know, help my mother in the house that I'm currently recording in now. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Now, I do want to just say that, like, you have to have a little bit of humility when you go through these lows. Not that I would call this portion a low, I would just call it a little bit of a blip. But you kind of have to have a little bit of humility and realize that there are people in the world who have it much worse than you do, right? We're moving into our first house at the age of 28. That's pretty unheard of in our age group. It's much harder for young people to buy homes, let alone move into them. We were very lucky that we were able to buy my mother and father-in-law's house for such a low price. They were very kind to us for that. We would not have been able to afford the house otherwise. And then, you know, we've had our problems. I'm not going to go into it, but we've had problems over the years being able to even get pregnant. This is the first, quote, full-term pregnancy my wife and I have been able to have. So, you know, we also consider ourselves extremely lucky that we're even able to have a conversation about giving birth to a child at all, regardless of the condition that he may or may not be in. But it is a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, it's been difficult in my mindset lately. I've been struggling to write songs. I've been struggling to make more videos because I just feel like I need to distract myself from those things. My wife has higher blood pressure. We're on the lookout for preeclampsia. I'm going really in depth onto pregnancy here. Sorry for those who are just like, what is going on? But this is my life now, is just worrying about these things. We're checking my wife's blood pressure 3 or 4 times a day, making sure that it's at the right level and making sure it's not too high, trying to maintain it with drugs. But honestly, it feels like we're giving her a new dosage every single week, which has been really hard on her, and I don't want things to be hard on her. And then on top of that, she's had to cut down on work a little bit because of her health. There are points where I feel a little bit helpless, but I'm really trying hard to just keep kind of pushing through the madness, because this too shall pass. This moment in time isn't even going to be in my brain in a few months or even just a few weeks. I know that this is just a blip in time. It doesn't diminish how difficult it is, but it does make me very humbled to think that, you know, in a couple of months now, I'm not even going to be thinking about how difficult this time was. Having to wake up super early in the mornings to drive an hour to a doctor's appointment is not going to be on my mind in a month or two. There's only going to be a few things on my mind then. But it definitely is hard, you know, that quote American dream that we all ideally strive for, getting the home, getting the kids, having the career. It's really hard to kind of balance all those things and be able to have it all at the same point. So that's sort of what I've been struggling with this pregnancy, struggling with this house, struggling with the fact that I had hoped to bring in more money by now. I'm not defeated, I'm not beaten, and that's one of those things that you kind of have to kind of push through, I guess. I don't know, maybe pushing through isn't the right answer, but that's my tactic. That's what I'm going for right now, and hopefully I will see the light on the other side. As far as this channel goes, we're still going to keep going. I'm not going to lie. A few weeks ago, I was thinking about, you know, either going to a video every 2 weeks or just shutting down the channel completely. And my wife kind of helped ground me in saying, no, you've made this commitment. You got to push through. And it's been really difficult lately, but there have been a phenomenal support system lately. Don't know if they know that they've been a support system, but they really have. So I just want to give a few shout outs before we end this video. I don't want to make it too long. I want to start off with my mother, as well as my wife's mother, father. I just, you know, they have been super supportive through this whole thing. Really, our whole families have been super supportive through this whole ordeal with the pregnancy and everything. The day after the tree fell on the house, my grandfather-in-law was already going to work with the chainsaw. We had to call him off because I really wanted to be the one to do it, but he was already there. He was already working on it, and that was amazing. Our parents have been going to our doctor's appointments with us lately, which has been great because it's one of the scariest times of my life, and to know that you have that support system right there is fantastic. My wife has been great through this entire thing. She's been super strong. I've been trying to be strong for her. I like to think that I'm succeeding, but it's hard to tell sometimes when you're kind of in your own feelings. But I'm trying my best to kind of push those aside and be there for her and be what she needs me to be in this moment, because right now it's a very temporary moment, and it's much harder on her than it'll ever be on me, and I know that going into it. We have our friends have been such a great support system. A lot of them don't know what's going on, they just know that shit is going on, and I'm a very private person, so for me to even make this video is kind of a big thing. But our friends have just been super supportive and fantastic, and offering to do, you know, whatever we need them to do whenever, which is just amazing. But a huge kind of catalyst in me continuing to push on this channel has been you all. And you know, I hope that the people who I'm referring to are watching this video, but if not, just knowing that you're out there. When we were in the midst of all of this stuff going on between the house and the baby, and feeling like I didn't have time to write music, so I need to drop the YouTube channel and everything, there was a specific day where it was all hitting me just really hard. I wanted to go back to my room, lay under the covers in my bed with the lights off, and just pretend that the world did not exist. And that was also the day that I had to record my YouTube analytics, so that way I can keep track of how I'm doing every week and every month. And I noticed that there were a few comments that I had missed, and they were all super heartfelt and super supportive, telling me that, you know, you all are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there, that you're learning stuff, that that you think that what I'm putting out there has value. And you know, that really means just the world to me. I've been making YouTube videos and music for about the same amount of time, almost 16 years, and I don't think I've ever had that kind of a response to any of it, ever. So it kind of helped fortify the idea that what I'm doing is the right thing, and what I'm doing does matter. And as much as I would love for it to bring in a check every week, we're building to that. And I may not look it, but I'm very much that kind of guy where I want to be bringing in money, but I just know that there's nothing else I can really do on this earth except for make music and ideally help other people like you all make music. So even if I'm not bringing in the income now, I know I will very shortly, very soon. It's just getting to that point that's the hard part. And I just have to reiterate that this is not a deep, dark time. This isn't the end of the world or anything like that. This isn't the end of my world. It's just a blip in what has been a phenomenal year so far. And you know, those are going to happen. And so what I'm going to do, and what I would urge you to do if you ever find yourself in this exact same situation or a similar situation, is to just push through. You don't feel like making videos? Tough shit. Pull out the camera and talk to the camera. You don't feel like making music? Deal with it. Pull out your DAW, pull out your microphone, pull out your MIDI keyboard, pull out whatever it is gear-wise that you're going to pull out, and just make the music. It's really just that simple. It's not ignoring the problems. You can't ignore the problems away. But what it is it's providing some sanity. So that way, in the search of finding solutions to your problems, you don't just go crazy and lose it all. I can already see the light at the end of the tunnel coming. Our son Kendrick will be here in a little over a month, ideally, but possibly a month. We're going to be moving into this new house at the end of this week, so that's exciting. And I've been working on some new covers, I've been working on some new music, and I've been cooking up new ideas for content for this YouTube channel as well. So things are still moving, things are still rolling. I'm still here with you, and I'm just so I can't thank you all enough for being here with me. It really helps me feel like, you know, I'm not alone in here. Music is a very difficult business to be in, and anyone who's been in this business for an ounce of time knows that. So the fact that I have you all as a support system, and ideally you all are each other's support systems as well, just means the world to me. The very first thing that I said on the very first blog was that I wanted this channel to become a community, a kind, loving community that supported each other in the pursuit of learning and becoming better musicians, performers, producers, and artists. And I feel like we're starting to scratch the surface on that. So again, I want to thank all of you who are watching this, because if it weren't for any of you, this channel would be dead, and this dream of creating a community that backs each other would be dead as well. So keep loving each other in the comments. I really love your messages of support. If you feel like leaving any messages of support, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions as far as music production or anything else that we talked about in this video are concerned, please leave them in the comments below as well. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure that your bell notification's on. We have videos coming out every single Monday, and we're going to continue having videos coming out every single Monday, and ideally they will all bring value to you, your work, and your life. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you got some value out of it, and you know, even if it's just a little bit of a soapbox for me to stand on and to give you a little teeny tiny glimpse into my very private life. Thanks again, and I will see you next week with some more appropriate content. Bye.